All right, so we're back. On today's video, we're going to try several different mediums for lighting a fire. I have a whole bunch set aside here, which I will show you guys. All right, for our mediums that we're going to be using today, we have dry grass. Over here we have wood chips, paper towel. We have candle, which we are going to shave some wax off the candle. We have our waxed jute, and we have a guitar pick. So we're going to try all 6 of these mediums today and see which one takes the better spark to have a emergency fire lit in just in case of an emergency. So when I come back, I'll have the stuff set up and ready to go. Okay, first up on our list of things to try for our fire medium is going to be the guitar pick. I'm just going to shave off some of this guitar pick here. I also heard that shaving it up chunks of a guitar pick like this as well, you can also get a flame out of it this way. This is just a regular plastic or vinyl guitar pick. I'm not sure exactly what they're made out of. Plastic, vinyl, or something like that. Yes, and we're in a different spot today. We're at another great park here in Medicine Hat at Kincooley today. I like the bushcrafting spot. Sorry, the bushcrafting spot. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's just with that coyote looming around, and especially looming around during the day. It's not that it freaked me out, but coyotes and stuff like that, they shouldn't be out during the day unless they're really, really hungry or possibly could be rabid, and I don't want to take a chance on getting into a fight with a coyote. They do have them out here. They're out here quite a bit. I see them all the time. Not so much where I am at here, but they pulling in, I saw a sign that said coyote warning. All right, so there's our little bit. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our spark drawn down on top of that and see. For our fire medium, we're gonna see if we can get a spark down on top of this and get it lit. The way I've seen it done before, it doesn't look like it's that hard to do, but it's my aiming and my ferro rod is still taking some work, although I can usually get it right on 90% of the time. So here goes. There it is. That's a guitar pick. So that's how flammable a guitar pick is. Incredibly flammable. As fast as that burned, you could use that to get your tinder bundle set up and ready to go for your fire. Not a problem. All right, so next up is going to be wax. We're going to see how wax from a candle will compare to the pick, the guitar pick. All right, so for this one we are going to use a candle. We got some wax coming down here. I'm just gonna strip off some wax slices. And we'll see how long that's gonna take to get a spark down. No, it's not the knife blade hitting the steel, it's just the handle on my Mora. This was the very, very first knife I ever got for bushcrafting, and it's a Mora knife. Frankly, it's one of the best bushcrafting knives I've ever had, next to my Yukon Gear one that I bought. That's the big green and black one that I used because I needed something with a good solid edge to get a spark down. So this is wax, just from a candle, a little pile of wax. So fire medium test number 2, and we'll drop a spark down on it. It just seems to want to melt. Although in a pinch, the melting wax, it depends on how hot you get it to light a fire. Like that was a really good one. Okay, so wax from a candle. Although you can use it in other applications like fire pucks, is not going to be any good to get a fire started because it's just not going to light. I was just peeling off some extra magnesium on there to see if I can get a really hot spark down. Alright, so we know wax is no good for a medium. Clean that into the fireplace. Next up, we are going to use paper towel. Okay, so here we have paper towel, and we're gonna try a spark down on the paper towel and see how how many strikes it's gonna take to light the paper towel. So here we go. One spark. So one spark lit that paper towel. There we go. The sparks that come off this ferro rod are about 1,000 to 1,500 degrees Celsius. So that's our paper towel medium. Paper towel, of course, is paper, so it caught really quick off of one good spark. I'm just holding it down because there's a little bit of a wind out here. Oh, there it goes. All right, so for our next experiment, we are going to use a bundle of wood shavings and try that on our next spark. Okay, so there's our bundle of wood shavings that I took off of this piece of 1x2. I just shaved them off there with my bushcrafting knife, not the Yukon. So we'll drop a spark on the wood bundle and see how easy it is to get this lit. Okay, that was one spark, so one spark off the ferro rod. Got that little tinder bundle lit right up nice. Those are just shavings, wood shavings. Super simple fire from super simple material, which is easy to carve off pieces of. Okay. Our next experiment is going to be with that wax jute with the brass snuffer on it that we used in one of our last videos, and that'll be up next. Okay, so here's our waxed jute with the brass snuffer on it. Putting it out. We'll see how many shots or how many sparks this takes to get a flame on it from the ferro rod. This stuff should only take like one spark to get lit, I'm thinking. What do you guys think? 1 or 2 shots? Well, we're gonna try 1 shot. So in reality that was like 3 or 4, but 1 spark on there to get that lit. So that was 1. Kind of like the other stuff. So. And then you just take the brass snuffer and you just snuff it out like this here. Although I wouldn't put that back in my kit until that is good and safe to the touch and not hot. All right, so the next thing that we're going to try is a tinder bundle, and we're going to bring that up next. Okay, so here's our tinder bundle, and we're going to see how many sparks we can drop down on this one before it will light. I'm thinking 1. What do you guys think? 1 or 2? Or maybe more? We'll see. That's 1 spark down on it. There we go. So we have two sparks or so down on the tinder bundle to get that tinder bundle started. You can see down inside. So if I had my bellows with me, which I do in the bag, you'd use your bellows to blow just lightly inside of that to get it going. Okay, so got my bellows out. This is just a retractable, portable bellows. Use this end here to kind of put down inside of the bundle once you get your spark drop down. And then you just, the big end here is what you use to push air through onto the tinder bundle. So we're going to try that, and we're going to try the bellows this time off of just 1 spark and see if we can get it to go. See if we can get it to catch. There, that was pretty successful on getting that to light. You can also make a tighter, bundle too for that, and you can bring it around so that that'll light up a little better. Make a really tight little bird's nest here. Just kind of bring it around and I'm gonna rough it up a little bit. And you have your little spot where you're going to put your spark right inside like that. And then we'll drop our spark on that. People light fires a multitude of different ways. I've seen people you can also pick it up too and flip it around. This grass is pretty dry. So you can pick it up too and flip it around and get it going, something like this here. Pick it up or blow into it. That would definitely get you a fire started in a pinch if you were in a survival situation. Then you'd have your wood all readied up and have your wood all ready to go on top of this, but at the same time being very careful to not smother the fire. But yeah, that'll definitely get a fire started. It took a little bit of trying with this bundle in particular, but usually I don't have a problem getting these ones started. And that's fine too. Okay, so that's the tinder bundle. When we come back, we're going to try another medium that I have. We're going to use some just crunched up leaves and give that a try to see when dropping a spark down on it, how long it takes to get just a tiny little pile of leaves started. All right, it's coming back. We have our leaves crunched up here. These leaves are incredibly dry. Must be for starting up a little fire. We'll see how that goes, dropping a spark onto it. Will it light the first time? Will it light the second time? We can only guess at this point. Now if you put some charcoal in there, like we made on one of our last videos for the leaves, it would have that started in no time. So a couple sparks. This stuff will burn. I know that. It's just maybe a little bit too compact there. You can get a fire started off of leaves here too, also in a pinch if you have to. Our next medium that we're going to use is charcoal. So charcoal from a past fire. We're going to use that to try to get a fire started. And as soon as we come back here, I'll bring you guys back and we'll have the chunk of charcoal and see if the chunk of charcoal will hold a spark into it and stay hot so that we can light a fire with it. Okay, so over here we have our charcoal. This is just from a past fire, but I'm saying in case your fire ever goes out and you have nothing else to light a fire with, and say this is your last resort. And then we have our wood chips here that we're also going to use for try to get them lit off of this charcoal once you drop a spark down onto it. Look, you could even take it and give it a bit of a rough it up a little bit there. Oops, just about did a no-no with the sharp part. Probably could have used a flatter piece of charcoal, but it's okay. There we go, that's a good one. At this rate, it might take a couple of really good or 12 really good shots, and then to try to get their charcoal smoking again. We can break this down into something a little bit smaller. So maybe something a little bit smaller like that. And try to break down, like, get it into maybe like a little bit of a pile to get that kind of crushed up there. So then dropping a spark down on that will be a little bit easier than trying that there like that. So it's wood charcoal. I'm not exactly too sure what kind of wood charcoal it is or what kind of wood they burn here, but something like that. The charcoal is hot, and then you can take your wood and kind of get it on there. And then just use your bellows to add a little bit of air to the fire. And to try to get a spark up from that charcoal. You'd still see some really hot chunks of the charcoal in there. I know the lighting's not the best for it, but we'll try this again. There. So we'll drop just a few hot chunks down onto there, just enough so the charcoal can get picked up. Sorry about the breeze there. Then we can drop our chunks down and use the bellows to get it fired up. Like I said, this is just, we're experimenting with different things. I'm not saying 100% guaranteed it's going to work. It's different fire medium to see what different types of medium we can use to light fires. But we all know this wood here, which came off this, it's pine, dry pine, kiln dried pine 1x2. I know fatwood is a great medium for starting fires, but to me, any kind of pine is just as good as fatwood. Fatwood would be great, yeah, if it's wet out or whatever, but to have this kind of medium is a good medium. Because we know the wood will guaranteed light on that one. I think that's going to conclude today's video on different kinds of medium for starting fires. The guitar pick, I was quite shocked at how fast that caught fire. That guitar pick was incredibly quick and incredibly quick burning, so you'd have to make sure that you have your stack ready to go right away. Your wood or whatever it is ready to go right away. Charcoal, obviously not that great. The pile of tinder of dry grass is a good one. You got to build a nice bird's nest out of it, and you got to kind of have it so it's not so tight, maybe a little bit looser. And then dropping a spark into the bird's nest, it creates a fantastic flame. You know, you blow into it, you get it going. You use your char cloth also. So when I come back, we're going to use char cloth that we made together on the last video on a pile of dry grass into a bird's nest. So we'll be back with that in just a second. Okay, so here we have just a very small bird's nest that I made out of some dry grass here. And over here is some chunks of that char cloth. It's not the char cloth that we used, unfortunately. I did not bring it with me today, but this is stuff I had made in the past. This char cloth is very soft and brittle. This char cloth will get a nice little fire started. So I'm hoping you guys can see that okay. And then we'll drop a spark down into that. Onto that char cloth. And you can see the char cloth burning there. We'll get out our bellows. To get our tinder bundle started up on it. So for some reason the dry grass today just is not being cooperative. It's okay though. I have lots more char cloth we'll use. We will definitely get this started with a piece of char cloth. Okay, so we'll definitely add some more char cloth to that. And this stuff is from another video I did a long time ago. This was way before I started YouTubing. And I keep it. This is the very first ferret rod I had. It's a Skook brand, and you can see how it's kind of got really, it's thinned out and flared out over the years of using it. This is about 5 years old. So I got this back in 2019. We could try this one too. Give it a shot. I store my, sorry, there you go. I store my char cloth in the back of this one, the old char cloth. So I'm gonna put the flames out so you can see this, the spark that I dropped down onto the char cloth. And then we'll use with anything survival, it's a lot of trial and error when you're out in the woods. Say if you're obviously alone and you're in a survival situation, not everything works the first time, and that's fine. You know, patience is definitely it plays a key role on getting stuff to work properly. But yeah, this ferro rod still works great. And I also see a lot of people, they will take just the end here and they'll flick off like, I'm trying to be very careful because this knife is like a razor. So I'll just shred some magnesium in there. There. And you can see how easily that started, and you just take your fire bundle like this here, and you can flip it upside down to get it to burn. Like this here. And then you get your pile of wood ready to go. So if you have some nice dry sticks and some nice dry kindling, it will start almost straight away, because that does get pretty hot. And you just gotta be careful with it, and it will stay lit. Loosen it up a little bit, kind of like that there, and then there you go. So that was off of char cloth and just a bird's nest. Move the camera back a bit. And just bird's nest tinder and char cloth. I think that's going to end today's experiments with all of the different mediums that we use to light a fire. There are many more different mediums we can use too. Also, you can use dry pine branches, leaves, grass, char cloth, chunks of wood. You can feather, where you take a knife like this and you take a knife like this and you feather your wood like this here. You can just keep feathering it into one little spot like that. So then here you have this feathering in the middle. Then what you can do is you can drop a spark down into that. I'll try one up a little bit further here, and we'll try to give it a light with the ferro rod and see what happens. Because what this does is, this type of feathering here, it creates air spaces in between the little pieces of wood that have been feathered out instead of one solid piece. And then trying to get a spark down onto that to light should be a lot easier than if it was just on solid wood. So let's see how this goes. It's just trying to drop a spark right into that specific, like that there, specific area. Here, something like this here. There it is. And then you can take that and there it is there. So that's our feathering that we did, and you can see how it's burning. Yeah, there was some stuff off there. But yeah, that'll definitely get a fire lit. Alright, so I'm going to conclude today's video with that. Shows that you can use different types of mediums to light fires in any kind of survival situation. So if you want to pack a bag, for my fire kit includes paracord, the 650 survival paracord, the one that I showed on the one video with the wax jute inside. I use that for starting fires in an emergency situation. Chunks of pine that I had cut off that was those curly pieces of pine that we had used earlier in the video to drop a spark down onto and inside of like a little pile, and then you get your wood ready on top of that to have a fire, to build a fire. The next one, we have also my case. You can buy guitar picks at any music shop for like really cheap. They're definitely a staple to have in your emergency kit. Obviously, ferro rod. This is a 5/16 ferro rod, and then on the end of the ferro rod I have my 650 survival paracord with that. I have my wax jute, which you can easily make yourself. You can go, so this stuff here, the wax jute, you can go down to a lot of outdoor stores, or even, I'm gonna say it out, give them a shout out, Princess Auto, and you can always find, well, in Canada, and you can find this type of jute here, which is like 6mm or 8mm jute, and you can soak it in wax, kind of the same way we did with the fire pucks. You just soak this stuff in wax, get it really soaked, and then just let it dry on like a clothes hanger or over top of a clothes hanger. And same thing with these brass snuffs here. You can order these brass snuffs off any website. They're just brass and they're 2 inches. So we use that in the, and then we have the Vaseline coated makeup remover pads from the one video I was talking about. I also have those in my bag. I also have fire pucks in my bag, similar to the ones that we made, just to have extra stuff just in case. I mean, I don't intend on getting myself put into any kind of survival situations, but if I ever had to be in a survival situation, I would do my best and make it my best to make it through until I was either found or picked up, because I can sustain myself for quite a while. Out in the woods, so I have a lot of different skills I can use to keep myself alive and warm. But a fire is key to survival. If you don't have fire, you will not have life, because number one, if it's cold, colder areas, colder regions, like, you know, the north or the Arctic, places like that, even in Alberta, Canada, where I live, in the wintertime, the weather gets down to like 40 below. And there is a lot of woods in Alberta bordering onto BC in places where you can get lost. I wouldn't say for days or weeks, but you could get lost up there and have to have a survival situation. Fires are a key role into maintaining life. Cooking the food that you eat, eating anything raw is never advised or well advised. I suppose there are people out there I've seen on different TV shows that do eat raw meat. It's definitely not a good idea in any survival situation, because if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you ate raw meat that was tainted, or like the spotty liver disease that some of the animals get, and you couldn't get saved, well, there's only one way you're going to end up, and that's probably dead. So good idea to not eat raw meat. Fire is essential. So learn your different fire skills. Hopefully you guys learned something from these videos that I'm putting out. And certainly learned something from this video I showed you guys today. Although the Tinder bundle was not cooperating, I'd say 90% of the time, of course, because it's on video, 90% of the time I got a bird's nest going. I've lit several fires just using a bird's nest, and they always usually light. But yeah, it's you know, just seems to be that rule that when you're trying to show somebody something and you're on video, it's just never a good idea. But yeah, so I'd say for today and in these the different mediums that we use today will be great. I'm going to try to get some other videos out there, some different types of survival situation videos out there. No, I'm not Les Stroud. I mean, the survival god, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, I'm just trying to put these out. Most of it's just for family and friends, and the few subscribers that I have, I appreciate it. If you can subscribe, if you're new to this channel and you subscribe and smash that like button, that'd be great too. Lets me know that I'm reaching a further audience. If you guys have any questions or comments, obviously leave them in the comments below, and I will try to get videos out based on those things. I'm not a professional survival expert, but I can do a lot of things. If you guys want specific videos out, I can do that as well. So just let me know in the comments below. That would be absolutely great. And in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just keep trying to get out some videos like this. If you guys want to see something that's specifically made, I can do that too and shoot a video out. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you very much for watching. And that'll be it for today.